Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee, maybe a snack. Maybe a natural snack that you find outside. Yeah, because that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about 25 wild edibles that you can actually find outside, even in the city, okay? But first, okay, I don't want you to just go outside and start eating things that you find on the street, okay? I left a link, okay, to a book that I find very knowledgeable. Okay, it's called Edible Wild Plants. It's a North American field guide. Okay, there's over 200 plants in there with very nice pictures that you can use as reference. All right, so please, just saying, okay? I don't want you going out there just to eat anything. Now, when foraging for edibles, there are a few things that you should keep in mind first. All right. First, make sure you always know what plants you are harvesting. Okay, it's very important. Some plants have poisonous lookalikes. Okay, so be sure you know what plants you are picking, what plants to stay away from. Okay, but also where it's growing. Okay, for example, wild carrots don't grow in marshy lands, but their poisonous lookalikes, which are called water hemlocks, do. Okay. Second, avoid harvesting from the sides of roadways and other areas with high exposure to like exhausts, dust, and harmful chemicals. If you can, make sure the plants have not been sprayed with anything like chemical fertilizer or herbicides. Backyards and parks that are rarely sprayed, that's a safer bet for you. Okay? Now, if you're not sure about a plant, it's always best to have, like I said, that book, okay, to use as a reference. Because you just don't want to, you know what I'm saying, okay? I'm sure a lot of you here have foraged before, okay? Now, there are a lot of edibles in nature that I don't think a lot of people realize that you can actually eat. And the first one is acorns. Now, mainly planted by cities as an easy to care for tree, oaks can provide an abundance of acorns. White oak provides the sweetest acorns, okay? And acorns are edible after the tannins, and that's TANNINS, have been leached out of them, usually with soaking and a light alkali bath. The soaked acorns can be cooked, dried, and ground up for a flour substitute. The next one is amaranth, and that's AMARANTH. It is unusual to see grain growing on your city block, but amaranth is catching of the eye. It's very, very pretty, okay? And this ancient grain often grows in very hot climates and is known for its beautiful plumes of seed heads that appear in the summer. It's very pretty, very purpley, okay? And amaranth plants, they can grow up to 12 feet tall. And they're very hard to miss because of their beauty. And given their bountiful and colorful seed heads. Now, the leaves of the plant are edible. They're quite versatile. You can put them in soups and stews, stir fry, salads. The leaves are also great when fermented as well. Now you can harvest the seed heads by bringing a bowl up to the plant, and the tiny grain seeds, okay, are plentiful, but they're easy to lose given their size. I mean, they're very, very tiny. You can cook the grain and use it as a side dish, almost like a couscous or a rice, all right? Now the next one is blackberry. I personally grow blackberry in my backyard. Of the three similar berries, blackberries have the worst thorns possible. I mean, I've cut myself, I don't know how many times, but the flavor is undeniable, okay? And they ripen in late summer, and they are the most amazing, luscious fruit. They really, truly are, especially when you grow them yourself. Now, like I said, they ripen in late summer to early fall. They're known for their size and their juiciness. I have picked blackberries off of my blackberry vines, and when I tell you, they're like this. They're so big, okay, gorgeous. They are in the regions where blackberries are prevalent. They're also invasive because they vine up. So if you're going to plant blackberry vines, make sure you have either trellis. I put them along my fence line because I have, the metal fencing. Okay, they will colonize with hedges, ditches, fences, and roadsides, but they will keep producing year after year. All right. Now, immature berries are very light pinky color, okay? Then they turn like a very dark purple or even black like, okay? That's when you know they're ready to pick. And harvest the berries using gloves, otherwise your skin will turn purple. That's happened to me I don't know how many times. Now, you can use these berries alone, just eating them as a snack like I always do. Or you could put them in salads. You can make jams and jellies out of them, okay? Or you could do like desserts like pies and tarts, cobbler, right? Now, pick all that you can during the few weeks that they are ready and ripe, and you'll have plenty of competition with neighboring birds, because these little, when I tell you, they will come and just pick them. I mean, I've lost a lot of blackberries and grapes to birds. Yeah. So, the next one is called burdock. Burdock. Now, this plant is most often recognizable in late summer, early fall, by its annoying little burrs. In spring and early summer, however, the plant's leaves can be harvested for tea, or as part of like a wild veggie selection. Due to its medicinal properties, burdock is not recommended for heavy consumption, but can be used in small amounts. Now the next one is cattail. This plant is a favorite of wild harvesters and has been called the supermarket of the wild. Now the roots have an edible center that can be roasted and baked, boiled. They're similar to like a potato. And the center of the central stalk is tender and it's edible in early spring and can be used as a veggie. The young flowery stem, before the pollen comes, can be harvested and roasted like corn. Now the pollen itself can be added to baking, unless you're allergic like I am, or used as a flour substitute. The next one is chickweed. Now, chickweed is a trailing ground cover. Okay, chickweed is a very yummy wild green that loves taking over gardens and slightly damp lawn areas. It's a low growing plant with paired leaves, and the stem is angular rather than round and quite damp and crisp. And this is like a perfect like salad additive type thing, you know, put it in with the combination of other wild edibles, and it has very strong flavor, and it goes well with dandelion, which is the next one that I'm going to be talking about. This is one of the most familiar wild edibles, okay? Dandelions, they're very easy to spot. It's dark green. It has jagged blade-shaped leaves, form like a rosette in spring grass. And the tall yellow flowers are followed by like a white billowy seed head, right? And early spring leaves are perfect for salads with a lot of vitamins and minerals. And the leaves harvested before the flowers bloom, that's when they are at their sweetest. But even after the flowers bloom, the slightly bitter leaves can still be harvested for cooking. Now, the closed flower buds also go well in stir fries. Watch the flowers, and when they have just opened, right, you can harvest them and turn them into a flowery wine. Yeah, and the roots in the fall, they're perfect for a harvest, dry, and roast for a coffee substitute. Yeah. Now, the next one is called fairy ring mushroom. Now, these are another common mushroom and fairly easy to identify. Now, they favor grassy areas, okay, and the mushrooms are white to light brown. The individual caps are rarely more than 2 inches across and usually about a ½ inch to the ground. The rings often have like a broad diameter, and the mushrooms are usually very like thickly clustered together, okay? Again, take care not to pick like any single growing mushroom, and don't eat any of the mushrooms you have not positively identified, okay? Always cook your identified wild mushrooms before you eat them, all right? Now, the next one is hazelnuts. Usually an easily recognized tree, right? This nut produces catskins. And this happens in the spring, and the nuts usually in the fall. And the nuts are encased in a green cover. So the next one is Japanese nutweed. And this lovely plant is classified as a noxious weed, which makes it a prime candidate for wild harvesting. And you can eat the young shoots, the growing tips, and the unfurled leaves on the stalk and the branches, either raw or cooked. Okay, now the next one is mulberry. I actually have 2 mulberry trees growing right now. Now, they are known for their quick growth rate. Mulberry trees are often seen as a nuisance, okay, in an urban setting, but they're beautiful. However, their delicious berries help make up for their invasive root growth qualities. They're any time between like mid-June to early August, okay? So mulberries are quite large, which they should make it easy to spot, really. There's multiple varieties of mulberries that range in color from white to dark purple, and the berries can grow a few inches long and often stain your hands, so watch when you pick them, okay? The next one are mustard greens. Now, mustard greens, I love mustard greens. They're easy to use in salads, in soups, okay? The next one are pecans. You know pecans, okay? It's another easy to find nut that falls from the pecan tree. The next one is plantain. Now, if you've ever gone after stinging nettles, okay, plantain might be right next on your list. Now, plantain grows in the same area as a stinging nettle, which is good because crushed plantain leaves remove the sting from the nettle brush and works on bee and wasp stings. Okay, so the next one is prickly pear cactus. Is anyone here growing cactus for edible use? Yeah, me too. So, arid and dry climates are often covered with plenty of different cacti variety. Prickly pear cacti is a great addition to anyone looking for a unique plant to add to their dinner table. This is easily spot the plant with its large paddle-shaped stems and small bulbous fruit that grow on top. They're little like this, like almost like a cherry size, and they're red. Okay, so the next one is the raspberry, for obvious reasons. Now the next one, you're going to be like, really? Yeah, roses. Now, it may be hard to eat these because they're so beautiful, but rose petals are often used in other cultures as an edible food. Yeah. So the next one is called salmonberry. And this berry is much like a raspberry, okay? So the next one is called the shaggy mane mushroom. Now, these are a fall mushroom. The cape is conical with a base cream color, and the shaggy mane over the cape is a dark brown reddish color. Okay, the next one is a sheep sorrel, and this is another strongly flavored weed. The sheep sorrel has a tart lemony flavor comparable to rhubarb. Now the next one is stinging nettle, okay? And then we have violets. Yes, that purple flower, violets, okay? Then we have walnuts. Then we have what's called wild carrots. And these look mostly like their tame cousins, though lookalikes include Queen Anne's lace, the flower Queen Anne's lace, wild parsnip, wild asparagus, and the poisonous water hemlock. So you got to be careful with that. Now, roots and leaves of the wild carrot are edible, either cooked or raw. The next one is yarrow. Okay, all know what yarrow is. So, as I said in the very beginning, okay, and several times throughout this, be sure to positively identify any edible before consuming it. Get that book, okay? It's a wonderful, wonderful book, okay? Full of lots and lots of knowledge, all right? All right, guys, that's all for this video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fearless. Ciao.